Yo guys, what's up? It's Krypz, and today I'm going to be showing you all the new sets which are introduced into the Dawning event. Now these sets will be sold during the event for either 1,500 silver or 6,000 bright dust. And in this video I'll be showing you each of these sets with different armor combinations and shaders. So if you want to skip ahead, then I will have some timestamps on screen. But yeah, if this video does help you out, then please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And without further delay, it's time we get straight into the set. So I'm firstly going to be looking at the Hunter set, and as you can see my Hunter is female. Now personally this is my favourite Dawning set they've made for the Hunter. I absolutely love the detail and design across the entire set, and the amazing thing about this set as well is that it can fully shader, so these little glow bits as well as the horns do change glow colour. And something I really like about these smaller glows is that they do somewhat resemble candles or Christmas lights. I think the way they presented these were perfect, and they definitely fit that Dawning theme. Now looking at the helmet in particular, it doesn't really have any sort of glow, and with shaders like Amethyst Veil you can create a black and silver look. Now if you wanted to, you could incorporate this into a blackout look, and I could even see this being used in a Thorn set. You can maybe switch out the shader for Gambit Jadestone or Atmospheric Glow to get that Necrotic Hive look. Now moving on to the arms, you can see that they have that sharp horn look towards the shoulders, and you can see with Gambit Jadestone that there are more glows present, although I do want to point out that with some shaders on this set, the glows aren't as bright as they are on other pieces. Now there is one exotic I could see working with these arms, and that is the Raiju's harness. The boots don't transition as well, but I do think these glows do match quite nicely. Now anyways, moving on to the chest plate, same sort of curved design leading into the arms. Again, more of those smaller glows going down the chest plate, and you can see that these aren't visible towards the back. It has this really cool horn design as well towards the bottom leading into the boots, although I do think a lot of pieces will struggle to pair with this. You can see with a few of these boots the waist is a bit wide, because if these don't align properly then they can look a bit awkward. And for any which like to use the Astro Strider's ornaments for the stompies, these will be covered a bit by the bottom of the chest, and honestly I don't think this sort of design really suits these boots. Even without the ornaments the design doesn't really match at all. Now anyways, these are the boots. Now again, with how these are designed, it's going to be really difficult pairing it with some chest plates. With a lot of sets, for example the Celestial, it will look quite awkward because the top half of these boots do shader the secondary colour, and pieces like the Imperial Cartographer don't really utilise the gold at all. So yeah, although the design is great, I can see it being very difficult to pair with most chest plates, and if you find something like the Shadow Vest where the cloth covers the waist, then you can create quite a nice transition from boots to chest. Now finally we have the cloak. Now you can see it comes down quite evenly and then curves towards the bottom. It does have more of these solar glows towards the ends as well. Now when shadering this you will not be able to hide the Dawning pattern. There's also a logo at the top of the hood as well which is also present. Now something you want to be mindful of with this cloak is how it comes around the neck, and with some chest plates like the Vest or the Exile you will have some clipping, so you will need to use chest plates with this which don't come up as high. Now there are some exotic helmets that could pair somewhat well with this look. For example, here we have the Assassin's Cowl. Now we're using Ultra Plasmic to get a nice blue glow to match with the helmet. The only issue with this helmet is that there are unshadable parts underneath, and another good one would be the Harafnagud ornament for the Celestial Nighthawk. The sharp aesthetic does suit really well with this ornament, and the glow colour will also match with the horns. But anyways, I'm going to be going over what I think are some of the best shaders on the set. Starting off we have Smudgepop Bruise and also Burnished Reed. Both these shaders were available last week in the Bright Dust store. Now Burnished Reed, if you don't know, uses the Master Chief colours. Then next we have Skitch Paint, which is also from the anniversary event. This gives me some neon vibes and I do really like this on this whole set. And a final 30th anniversary shader that looks really nice is Ultra Plasmic, and this one's great because it looks fantastic and is also a really easy shader to use. Then next we have Fetid Copper from the Gambit this season. This creates a really scaly look on the plating, and I really do love these lime green glows that come off the horns. Then we have Rose Scale, which is from the Crucible this season. A bit of a different texture on the plating, making it look like carbon fibre. And then for the final core activity shader we have Plated Lupness, and this one out of the three is my absolute favourite, and it also has a really nice golden glow on these horns. Then next we have Bitter Pill from the Pearl of Glass Triumph in the Vault of Glass raid. This one creates an all white look, although still looks really clean. Then we have Omnicronia as well as Continuum Alloy from the Victory Over the Vault bundle. This bundle was removed from the game, although both these shaders look fantastic on on the set. Now for any of you which don't like the glows, then you can use Testudo, which is a shader from Season of the Chosen and pretty much creates a black and gold look and turns all the glows off on all the pieces. Then for any of you wondering, this is what Seven Sisters looks like on the entire set. It creates a galaxy look on the cloth of the cape. Now other shaders from the Bright Dust store that look really nice is Carbon Bloods, really nice if you like your metallic reds, and another shader from the Bright Dust store would be Rustberry, and if you exclude the cloak it will create a really nice dark look throughout most of the pieces. Now there are also shaders that will make the glows pulsate. For example, there is Vintage Timber and Oiled Algae. Both of these shaders are from the Solstice of Heroes event, and for any of you wanting a really bright glow, here is Gambit Jadestone, known to be the brightest glow shader in the game and is unfortunately no longer obtainable. Then we also have some of the Black Armory shaders, which are unfortunately no longer obtainable, although if you do have these shaders they all look fantastic on this set. And something really cool about Begisa Knight is that it does create this scaly texture on most of the plating. And then the final shade I'm going to look at is Dreaming Spectrum from the Last Wish raid. I wouldn't so much recommend Dreaming Cast, I don't think this looks as good on this set, although Dreaming Spectrum looks really nice, creating a bonish look. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire Hunter set. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and possibly some armor and shaders you would use with it. But anyways, it's time we get into the Titan set. So this is the full Titan set, and I do want to point out that my Titan is male. Now just like the Hunter set, this entire set can shader as well as its glows. Now I really love how this glow works on this Titan compared to the Hunter. The Hunter pretty much just makes the ends of the horns glow, whereas on the Titan the inner side does glow all the way through. The only annoying thing about this helmet is that you cannot get rid of the Dawning symbol, but to me this is pretty much a better version of the Northlight helm. Then as for the arms, we have this really nice arch design. They don't come off too wide on a male Titan. It pairs quite nicely with pieces like the Celestial Ornament, although I wouldn't use this on bulkier pieces like the Forbidden Visage or the Sunbreak, as these pieces do look really awkward as they're much larger in size. And I'd also recommend staying away from cloth. I'd mainly stick to plating if you are going to use this. Then moving on, we have the chest plate. Now it does have these smaller glows going on the back, and this chest plate doesn't come out too much down the front either, and you can see when I change up the mark that it isn't too wide towards the bottom. And if you are going to try and pair this with different marks, then I would recommend changing it out for something quite slim. Accessories around the sides won't really work with this, so other pieces like the Lucent Knight could look really nice with it. Then moving on to the boots, it's a very similar curved design to the arms. It does come a little wide on the thighs as you can see, and this is mainly due to the extra plating, although I do still think this looks really nice, having some little glows coming around the thigh as well, and this patterning towards the bottom allowing for more secondary colours. And then finally we have the mark, which comes down only down the front and the back. It follows that same sort of curved design, and because the set can fully shader, you can actually make it almost all black. With Abyssinian Gold though, you will have a bit of red. So yeah, they are pretty much the Titan pieces. In terms of exotics that could possibly work with this, then you could try and use the Path of Burning Steps. And then there's also the Falling Star Ornaments Comet Stirring Dream, which does look really nice for Dreaming Spectrum. Now anyways, I'm going to be getting into what I think are some of the best shaders on the set. Starting off with some of the 30th anniversary shaders, we have Burnished Reed. I really love how vibrant the orange glow is, and the highlight for me on this set with shadering is definitely the helmet. Now another shader I quite like is Sketch Paint, which gives the set a somewhat neon look. Then next we have Ultra Plasmic, which creates a really nice bluish glow and hides the Dawning logo quite well. Now another one that looks really great is Queen's Grace from this season's pass. Really nice if you want a nice pop of purple in game. And similar to this we have Reef Regalia, which is from the Bright Dust store. A bit of a different purple, not as vibrant, it's more of a metallic look. Now a shader I absolutely love on this set as well as the Hunter set is Plated Lupness from this season's Crucible. It's something about the mixture of colours that just really appeals to me, and I absolutely love it when these glows on these horns are golden. Then we also have Omnichronia and Continuum Alloy from the Victory Over the Vaults bundle. Out of the two shaders, I definitely think Continuum Alloy is the better one, and also I think it's a nice blend between the metallic colours and the glow. Then for any of you wanted to turn off the glows, then you can use Testudo from the Season of the Chosen. It still gives the horns a bit of this lightish colour, although it pretty much won't stand out in game. Then moving on, we have Abyssinian Gold, which can sometimes be sold in the Bright Dust store, and this is a fantastic shader for any of you wanting a darker look. There's also Cryptic Insignia from the Deepstone Crypt raid, very easy shader to obtain, and this also creates a really nice blue shine on this set. Then we also have Rustberry, which is is one of my personal favourites, and it really lets the glow be visible down the front here as well, as it uses really dark colours that contrast this bright golden glow. Then we also have vintage timber and oiled algae, which do create a pulsating glow on these pieces. Overall, I do think oiled is a better look for this. Then for any of you wanting to really stand out in game, here is Gambit Jadestone. Now this is unfortunately no longer obtainable as it was from the Season of Dawn, although you can see it creates a stupidly bright glow on these horns. And then moving on to some final shaders, we have the ones from the Black Armory. Now unfortunately these are no longer obtainable, although still look really cool on this set. Then we have Dreaming Spectrum from the Last Wish raid, really nice for like a bone-ish look, but also is a really easy shader to use, so it's not going to be hard blending pieces with this. So yeah, they're pretty much the Titan pieces and shaders. Let me know what you think of the set in the comments below, and maybe some armor and shader recommendations. But yeah, it's now time to move on to the Warlock set. So this is the full Warlock set, and I do want to point out that my Warlock is female. Now just like the Titan and Hunter set, it can fully shader as well as its glows. Now anyways, moving on to the individual pieces, starting off with the helmet. I really love these curved bits coming out the side with these very subtle glows underneath, and the glow on the helmet is very similar to the Hunter's cloak. Now something I would have loved to personally see is have this incorporate the sort of Titan style glow, although I still think this is really awesome. I can see people though not liking this dawning symbol, as it is quite large and difficult to hide. Then moving on to the arms, I'm so happy with how this is designed. There's so many times that Bungie have made arms for the Warlock where they're just so little in detail, but when it comes to these gauntlets, I think they're fantastic in terms of detail. If you notice as well, we also have this leather piece running underneath and all the way up to the hand, so you will see parts of this in game depending on what you're using. And obviously the great thing about this set is that it is symmetrical, so the pieces are the same on either side. Then moving on to the robes, possibly the most important piece of this entire set, and I must say I absolutely love this. My favourite part of this again being the curved bits coming off the top. Really awesome design, and the patterning on these pieces just looks so well detailed, and it just looks fantastic. It has this really nice underlayer of cloth as well, which also displays the dawning symbol, and you can see with Gambit Jadestone that there are a lot of glows present throughout these robes. Then moving on to the boots, again they didn't go with something simplistic like they usually do. Now with the way these boots are designed on the top half, you can easily pair this into some very like clean cloth robes. Then moving on to the bottom, it is mainly consistent of a glow. There are these smaller, more subtle glows going around it as well, and obviously because it has a lot of glows to it, I don't see a lot of people using this for more minimalistic looks. But yeah, I quickly want to show you all some exotics that could really work well with this. So here we have the Phoenix 4 ornaments, which I know a lot of people are loving at the moment, and you can see that these pieces work really well with this. Now another one that could also work is the Ophidian aspect. I think Burnished Reed works really well with this, and although the curves on these arms are more scaly as a snake, I still think it could pair really well with the cleaner looking horns on the rest of the set. Then we also have the Nezarec Sin exotic. Now for any of you wondering what the staggered Caprian Linax would look like, here it is on the side as well, and the Caprian Linax is a bit large for these robes. And then a final exotic could be the Crown of Tempest with the Crown Jewels ornament. You could create like an Ice Queen sort of look with these robes. But anyways, I'm now going to be going over what I think are some of the best shaders on the set. Starting off with Burnished Reed from the 30th anniversary event. Really nice green and golds, and shaders that give off a metallic are really going to stand out on these robes. And this leads me on to the next shader, Plated Lupness, which is the shader from Vanguard this season. The colour palette works really well with this set in particular. Now there's also Rose Scale from this season's Crucible, although it does create a bit of a different glow on these horns. It doesn't really apply properly, although I do still think it looks pretty nice. Then next we have Ultra Plasmic, which is also from the 30th anniversary event. Again, this is another shader that looks really great across all the sets. Now one of my personal favourite shaders on the set is Continuum Alloy. Creates an incredible shine on the plated pieces, contrasting the darker look of the cloth, which just like Omnicronia was from the Victory Over the Vaults bundle. Then next we have Refragalia, which was sold in the Bright Dust store this season. Just like with the Hunter and Titan, it's really great for a royal look, and with how this shaders, it really allows the patterning to stand out. Then for any of you which want to remove the glow, then you can use Testudo. Now unfortunately this is no longer obtainable as it was from the Season of the Chosen. Then next we have Seven Sisters, which creates a galaxy effect on the cloth. This shader has always been most effective on the Warlock, and I think it looks really nice here. Then we also have Carbon Blood from the Bright Dust store. I really love how the horns look with the shader. It gives a nice pop of white to contrast the reds. Now another shader I quite like from the Bright Dust store is Rustberry. It's a really nice dark to light contrast on these robes, and if you just want a nice dark shader for the helmets, then this is perfect. Now there's also shaders like Vintage Timber and Oiled Algae which do create a pulsating glow colour, and for any of you wanting a really bright glow, here is Gambit Jadestone. And if you didn't know, this shader is unfortunately no longer obtainable. Then moving on to some final shaders, we have these ones from the Black Armory. So here we have Rasmussen Clan, House of Meridian, Satu Tribe, and also Begiza Knight. All these look really damn good on this set, although it does create this animated texture on the cloth. And there's also Begiza Knight that adds a really nice purple, although just like the Titan and Hunter, does create this scaly effect. And then the final shaders I want to show you all is Dreaming Cast and Dreaming Spectrum from the Last Wish raid. Dreaming Cast can also drop from other Dreaming City activities. And as for Dreaming Spectrum, it creates more of a bonish look and doesn't really use those metallics, although I still think this looks really good on this set. But yeah, they were pretty much all the new Dawning sets. Let me know your thoughts on these sets in the comments below, and I'd love to hear which Dawning set is your favourite for each class. But yeah, if this video did help you out, then please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated, as I tried to get this video out as soon as I could for you all. I also have a Destiny Fashion Discord with over 6,000 members, so go ahead and join and send in some of your Dawning sets for other people to see. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and an extra thank you to all my YouTube members for the amazing support. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video.